Three magi from Persia followed the star of Bethlehem to pay homage to the newborn king. And they brought three gifts: gold, representing kingship; frankincense, representing divinity; and myrrh, representing death. Jesus began his life with three gifts. And in his final days and final hours, three of his apostles by name, Judas Iscariot, Peter, and John, each had something to offer Jesus before he died. Today is Monday, April 6th, the Monday of Holy Week. The Gospel of Matthew has details about Judas Iscariot that no other Gospel has. The opening of the Passion account has Judas asking the chief priest, "How much will you give me if I hand him over to you?" And they said, 30 pieces of silver. Jesus could feel the betrayal. And at the Last Supper, he said, "One of you will betray me. The one who will dip his hand in the dish with me will betray me." And Judas said, "Surely it is not I, Rabbi." And Jesus said, "You have said so." And notice this about Judas. He called Jesus Rabbi in the end, not Lord. Judas had lost his faith. And after the agony in the garden, Jesus saw Judas come toward him. And Judas had an angry mob with him and the chief priest. And this is what Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you have come for." And Judas gave Jesus a kiss. The last kiss that Jesus received was a kiss of betrayal. Judas greatly regretted what he did, and he went back to those chief priests and wanted to give his money back. But they rejected it, calling it blood money. And Judas flung the money down and ran away. The chief priest used that money to buy something called the potter's field, a field of blood, for foreigners to be buried. And that fulfilled Jeremiah's prophecy. And again, all this is in the Gospel of Matthew. And how did Judas deal with his regrets? He gave into a sin that we are not to give into. He gave into despair. And it's only in the Gospel of Matthew that we hear that Judas hanged himself. He's the only one in the Gospels that committed suicide. And so that's Judas. Judas gave Jesus betrayal. Peter. What did Peter give Jesus? Peter was the apostle who walked on water. Peter had that kind of deep faith, but there is also something self-conscious about it, something shaky about it. And he's the one who not only walked on water, but would sink and depended on Jesus' outstretched hand to pull him back up. And in Jesus' final hours, Peter would sink again, denying Jesus 3 times. What did Peter give Jesus? A willing spirit, but weak flesh. Peter greatly regretted how he betrayed Jesus in the denial. But unlike Judas, he did not give in to despair. And let that be a lesson for us. The fact that he did not give in to despair, Jesus would come back for Peter after the resurrection and give him a second chance. Anytime we have regret, as long as we don't give in to despair, there can be that second chance. And then finally, it's John. What did John give Jesus? And this is from the Passion according to St. John. John would be the one who would be with Jesus to the end, all the way to Jesus taking up the cross. John gave Jesus total fidelity, and with that, Jesus gave John total responsibility in taking care of his mother, Mother Mary. So, Jesus received 3 gifts at the beginning, and he received these 3 responses at the end that came from the apostles, but could also be our responses to him as well. And here they are again. He received betrayal, a willing spirit, but weak flesh, a weak will, and he received fidelity to the end. Remember, those are the 3 options of what to give Jesus and our relationship with him.